folks, I'm Brian Latimer. Today we're going to talk a little bit about spinnerbaits. Look behind me here, a lot of water in the bushes. Spinnerbaits calling my name. So let's get up here. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the size, the colors, and when I like to fish a spinnerbait. All right, so let's dig into it. Going to my tackle locker here, you can see sometimes it's a little chaotic in here, but today it's not too bad. I got it fixed especially for you guys. I got two spinnerbait boxes, and they both consist of totally different applications, totally different spinnerbaits. I have one box totally dedicated to my shallow water Colorado muddy water spinnerbaits. All right, then I've got a totally different box that's totally dedicated to what I call more of the shad profile, clear water spinnerbaits, willow leaf spinnerbaits, clear colors. These are much better when I'm fishing deeper, clear lakes. When you're talking about spinnerbaits, basically you're going to break them down into two general categories, in my opinion. You know, you can break it down to several different pieces, but in general, you got a Colorado blade and a willow leaf blade spinnerbait. You can see I predominantly use white and chartreuse because typically when you're fishing a spinnerbait, you're trying to mimic shad, and there's nothing better to mimic shad than white and chartreuse. So I use that just about everywhere I go, everywhere in the country, regardless of the water clarity or what's going on in the fishery. This is a great place to start. You always got to start somewhere. This is a good place to start. Now, when do I throw Colorado? When do I throw willow leaf? For me, if you look at the water behind us, you see it's a little bit of stain. The water's been rising for several different days. So I want to be able to move a lot of water. Those fish are probably sitting next to structure. Water's a little bit more stained. I want to move that bait. I want to make a lot of commotion so I can get the fish's attention. That's when I'm going to fish a Colorado blade. That thicker blade, you see it's got more of a round structure to it. It thumps a lot harder. And what that does is creates water disturbance, and it allows the bass to hone in on your bait. So anytime you're fishing in muddy, stained conditions, or you want to keep the bait high in the water column, Colorado blade is the way to go. Now, if you guys you find fish schooling, or if you know there's shad prevalent in the area that you're fishing, or you want to move the bait a little bit faster, say perhaps you want to get the bait down in the water column a little bit further, I think willow leaf is the best way to go. You see the blade structure on a willow leaf spinnerbait is a lot more slender. That creates a lot less drag, a lot less resistance in the water, so you can bring that bait through the water column a lot faster. Not only that, but it also lets that bait get down. Sometimes that's important. You can see some of these trees, if we go closer to the dam or closer to clear water, you're going to want to get that bait down in the water column a little bit, and that's when a willow leaf spinnerbait is definitely going to shine over the Colorado. All right, guys, let's dig into every fisherman's favorite part of fishing. Let's talk about colors. We always have a bunch of colors of every bait that we use, right? So for me, it's a little bit more simplistic when we're talking about spinnerbait. For me, the blade combination outweighs color. But at the same time, I don't want to get real funky with my colors out there. And I got it broke down to a couple different colors I think really work best. Let's start with clear water. When I'm talking about clear water, just like when you're using soft plastics, just like when you're using a crankbait, I like to go with those little bit more translucent colors. You can see I've got one right here. This is called greenback shad. Skirt's real translucent. It's got a little bit of green on the back. That's really good choice for clear water. A lot of times you don't want those fish to really get a good image of your bait as it's coming by. You want them to feel it, you want them to get a glimpse of it, but you want to be able to see it too good. When you're in clear water, try something with a translucent blade. Now when you're getting in a little bit darker water, maybe it's just medium stain, you know, that good what we call spinnerbait water that's just got a little bit of stain to it. I've got one that's got a combination of everything in it. It's got some solid colors, some solid white, some solid chartreuse in it. It also has some translucent strands in it as well, and it's got a little dark back in there. So anytime, a good place to start is going to be some type of white, some type of pearl, some type of chartreuse. Now, where we're at today, we've got a little bit of everything. We've got clear, medium, and we've got just downright muddy, right? So if you're getting into muddy water, stick with solid colors. Anytime you're getting into that really chocolate mud, solid colors, the white and chartreuse always works. You never go wrong there. And if it gets into a situation where it's really nothing but tomato soup, don't forget the old school rubber skirts. I always keep a little bit of old school rubber skirts in my boat. It just has a totally different action. When you use a Colorado blade with a rubber skirt, you can see that just moves a lot easier. It displaces a little bit more water. You put a trailer on this bait that thumps a little bit, and you're gonna get a lot of action out of this bait, and it's gonna make your bait easier for bass to hone in on and eat it. Let's talk a little bit about trailers. You know, you can always add a soft plastic on the back of your spinnerbait, but I typically, if I can get away with it, I don't like to use a trailer. I think you just add a little bit more bulk, and sometimes fish can be bad about nipping at the tail of a spinnerbait, and you add a trailer, you're just increasing the chances of missing fish. So if I can get away with it, I don't like to use a trailer. But there's some situations where I think a trailer is a good option to use. And right now I'm in one of those situations. Anytime I've got really, really muddy water, I like to add a little bulk to the bait. So if I want to add bulk to the bait just to create more disturbance in the water, I'm going to add a trailer. If I want to reel the spinnerbait a little bit slower, like I'm throwing a Colorado blade here, but I really want to be able to crawl that thing around these trees, around the rocks, around the laydown, I'm going to add a trailer. I might add a boot tail. You can see right now I'm using a shad style trailer, and this is just simply to add bulk to the bait to help me keep it up in the water column. You see I added a little bit darker one because I don't want those fish to actually hone in on this. This is just simply to give the bait bulk, so it gives the bait buoyancy, and I can really slow it down and keep it high in the water column. Now, the other times when I like to use a trailer is in extremely, extremely dark water situations. Anytime the water is muddy, if I'm fishing that bait a little bit lower down in the water column, what that does, again, creating more disturbance. The spinnerbait's so good because it can create disturbance, and it also mimics shad. So using a boot tail trailer, that just gives that extra little thump, extra little action, and it makes your bait more easy to see. So think about that. Always just keep it simple with colors. You know, you can always get funky and mismatch your colors if you want to, but as long as you stay in that shad profile, I'm pretty sure you're headed in the right direction when you're talking about your trailers. All right, guys, so let's talk another component of fishing a spinnerbait that I think is really important is your rod and reel that you're going to use. Typically, especially when I'm fishing a spinnerbait shallow, there's a lot of different scenarios you can fish a spinnerbait. But when we're fishing bushes, like you see here, these are not even bushes. The water's so high, are actually trees in the water. When I'm fishing tight structure, trying to be really accurate, I don't really like a long rod when I'm fishing my spinnerbait around tight structure. This is just a 7-foot medium heavy action. Shorter rod allows me to be a little bit more accurate. I can be a little bit more agile with my cast. You can see a lot of times I can even just flip that bait in a bush. It just allows me to be a lot more accurate. I don't like a big rod that overpowers the bait. Now, if you guys are fan casting over a flat, or you're trying to fish for schooling fish, trying to get those really, really long casts, maybe you want to use a 7.2, 7.3 rod. I don't like something that's really, really stiff, no matter where I'm fishing the spinnerbait. I like for the rod to load a lot. You know, you hear a lot of guys talk about parabolic. We don't even know what that means. I want a parabolic bend. Who knows? We don't even know what that means. But in all, what that means, a parabolic bend means this rod will load. When a fish gets the bait, the tip has got some load in it. It has some give. I don't need to really overpower that fish to bring him out of the structure. So that's what I'm looking for. I use pretty big line, 20, 25 pound test. With all these trees that we have out here where I'm fishing today, 25 pound test line, let's get him out of there. So there's no need to be shy with line size. It's a moving bait. They don't actually see the line. I use a slower reel, 6:6 to 1 gear ratio reel. You don't have to have exactly a 6:6 to 1 like me, but I think you're better off, especially if you're fishing a Colorado spinnerbait or you're fishing structure like this. I like a slower reel. Lets that bait get down there, hang around that structure in the strike zone where the fish is at. I think it just works out for you a lot better. All right, so you got all the tools now, right? You got the right bait, you picked out your color, you got the right rod, you got the right line. What are you actually gonna do with the bait? Well, it's pretty easy to fish. The spinnerbait is really easy to fish. It's a great bait for beginners. It's a great bait, especially if you're a bank fisherman, because you can bomb it a long way. It's a great bait for tournament fishermen. There's a lot of tournaments and a lot of chase cashed on the spinnerbait. I've had some really good tournaments fishing the spinnerbait myself. Let's talk about how we're gonna actually fish it. You can see I'm fishing some flooded cover here. Really all I'm gonna do, you know, I can cast it. One thing I like about it is you can be very accurate with the spinnerbait because it's kind of heavy. It's really easy to cast, but I'm just gonna cast it by the structure. I wanna actually run it into the laydowns, run it into the grass. You want it to actually be contacting whatever structure you're fishing. So, you know, don't get frustrated. If you throw in a bush and get hung up a little bit, you need to be getting that bait in there where the fish are. So I'm gonna just throw it up there and slowly turn the reel. Every once in a while, I may just pop the tip like that just to make those blades flare. when you're working it and you just kind of just give a little slack and pop that rod tip, it makes those blades flare and you get a little extra flash, and sometimes that's the way to make a fish bite, is just giving that little bit of instant action to it. So just slow reel. It's not a whole lot that you have to do. It's not like a jerk bait where you have to really manipulate the rod tip to get it to do what you need it to do. There's times where you're going to want to reel it fast and keep that bait up high. You know, wake the spinnerbait. That's a good way to catch them, especially in the early spring. But like right now, the water temperature's kind of cold. It's in the 50s. Fish are a little bit lethargic. They're a little lazy. They're just like how I am when I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go fishing. I want to stay in my little warm spot. That's the way these fish are. They're sitting in these laydowns. They're sitting in this flooded cover, and they really don't want to move. They really don't want to bite a spinnerbait. So you kind of got to crawl that thing by, try to bump it into them, and make them mad to bite it. That's all the tips I got for you guys when you're fishing a spinnerbait. It's a very simple bait. It's easy to use and anybody can fish it. And the best part about it is you can fish it any time of the year in any water conditions. So get out there and practice with those spinnerbaits. You're going to catch a lot of fish.